Good morning, everyone. Today we're starting out with the Virginia Transamerica Trail section, and we're leaving Marlinton, West Virginia, and now we'll be heading basically southwest. We plan on going about 204 miles today to the Newport area, and we'll see how far we get today. Well, we suffered our first malfunction this morning. I lost a screw here. I'll show you. I lost a screw on this connecting rod to my shifter. So Roy's going back to the last town we just came from, and we'll try to get a screw that fits that and get that fixed. All across the Smoky Mountains, we see these little old schoolhouses, old churches. They're just scattered all through the mountains back when time was a little bit simpler and travel was a little bit more difficult. And there's a cute little one here that I think somebody's turned into a house, but isn't that beautiful? Not a bad place to get stranded, is it? As you can see up on the mountain there, and here the trees are starting to turn, and it's just a beautiful landscape. Well, a trip back to the local hardware, and we were able to find a hex head screw that fit in there, so we've got that cinched down, so we should be able to get back on the road now. As we head back out onto the Transamerica Trail, I'm looking for a Forest Service road, county road that's pretty rugged, that heads up into the mountains, and I was unable to locate that. There were a few reasons that I couldn't locate it. One is the roll chart indicated it was in Virginia, and it's actually in West Virginia. Also, it wasn't named correctly. It was located as 55, and even shows that way up on Google Maps. It's actually 35. And I was able to finally identify which was the correct road when we got on the other side of it, because we ended up bypassing it because I couldn't find it. It was actually labeled 35, and that would be a good road to go on. Unfortunately, we missed it. If you're running this portion of the Transamerica Trail, you can find that road. It is the last road in West Virginia before you hit the Virginia line that goes to the left or to the northeast. Portion of the Virginia Tat Trail is a combination of these gravel roads that you see right here and county roads. They're beautiful, but not technically difficult to ride, but we did find some absolutely beautiful scenery along the way, and with the trees changing colors, we got a good show. Sherry and I must have been on the same wave here as we went by this beautiful farm. As I was filming it, she was behind me filming the same farm. Just absolutely beautiful old farm and barns, and a church here around the corner. the side of the road again so that I can enter coordinates into the GPS that keeps us on track. This Forest Service road was the highlight of the day. It had a little bit of everything. It had washouts, it had stream crossings, it had some baby heads, and it was just a fun day. Here we are crossing a small stream full of baby heads. I went first, then Roy, and then here at the end, here goes Sherry. She did better than me. If memory serves me correctly, this particular road was 26 miles long. It had some steep grades to it, and up there Sherry just went through a big rut, and we had a fun time here. It was just an absolute blast to be on this particular Forest Service road, and a little bit of a challenge for us. As we got to the bottom portion of this from the mountain, the roads improved a little bit and turned more to gravel like you see in this clip here, and we were able to pick up speed until we got to the pavement. It was in this section that we were looking for our turnoff at the blue rail car, and we weren't able to locate that. And so I entered the next location GPS that I could find that we could get to. And it took us through the state park and by this beautiful lake. And so we probably would have missed this. We would have been in the mountains up to the right side. I'm here with my buddy, the Virginia Tech Hokies mascot. We are in Blacksburg, Virginia, but boy, the day sure didn't go like it was planned. We didn't just get lemons; we got the whole bushel of lemons. The day started out with us, my sumo, losing a screw in the shift linkage system, so I couldn't shift the bike. So Roy went back to Marlinton, where we just left. We were only about 9 miles out, which actually made it pretty convenient, and we fixed that, but that cost us about an hour and a half. And then we got back on the Tat Trail, and there's a little bit of an error. Every now and then there's a little bit of glitch or errors with the Tat Trail map information. Normally I can figure it out, but today I couldn't quite figure it out. And basically the road, it was marked 55, but it's actually 35. It's not in Virginia, it's in West Virginia, even though it's part of the Virginia Tat. So we bypassed that and went around it just because we couldn't find it. We got back on the Tat, and things were rolling pretty good. And we got up into the George Washington National Forest and the Douhat, it's spelled D-O-U-T-H-A-T, State Park, beautiful area. But then we got on a freshly graveled road, one of the Forest Service roads, and it had 4 to 6 inch deep gravel, and it was just a mess. You just couldn't hardly control the bike. I mean, it just rutted. It wasn't compact at all. It was a mess. And we got back in there about a half a mile, and one of the Forest Service guys came out and said the road was blocked. 7 miles up. So I'm kind of glad we bumped into him, because if we hadn't bumped into him, we'd have had 7 miles of misery times 2 on that road. So we went around that road, and then we were trying to pick up another Forest Service road, and on the TAT roll chart it said look for the blue rail car. Well, we could never find a blue rail car. So again, there was a whole section, and the GPS marking wasn't very good. So I don't know, if I'd spent more time on it, we might have been able to locate it, but the GPS unit was doing some funky things up in the mountain. Sometimes it would show me way off the actual service road, and so it wasn't quite accurate, and the GPS wasn't accurate. So it caused a little bit of a problem in trying to locate this. So that got bypassed, because the next place I could find on the GPS where we could get right back on the TAT trail was in Covington. And in Covington, I've been working since about noon, calling somebody in Asheville, North Carolina, to try and find a tire for Roy's bike. His tire's wearing out way quicker than mine. And I wasted the entire afternoon because the business wouldn't even, that I was talking to, wouldn't even fix the bike because they don't do that brand of bike. So he sent me to another place, and we made arrangements for Roy to get a tire, not on the day we want, but we did make arrangements for that. So that's going to help us out a little bit, but now we're stuck because it's late in the day. We have no way to complete the TAT trail between Covington and Blacksburg. There's just no way we can make it time-wise. And so we made the decision to bypass that section. So now we're in Blacksburg. Tomorrow we'll get back on the TAT, and then we'll take our time because we have a day, actually a couple days, to wait over. So we've got plenty of time now for the TAT trail to get Roy's tire fixed. So that's kind of how our day went. We just kept punting all day long. It was kind of exhausting when you're trying to stay on the TAT trail and you just can't find the right roads. But that happens, and you just got to go with it. Just like the bike breaking down, it happens and you got to fix it.